The sterile white lights burned into Tyra's eyes as she strained against the cold metal restraints. Her blue skin slick with sweat and her silver-white hair matted across her face. The syringe hovered inches from her neck, its pale blue liquid promising a fate worse than death. Forced compliance in a twisted breeding experiment. Her heart pounded like a war drum, and she whispered one last plea, but the Vexoid scientist just sneered, his spindly fingers dancing over the controls. In that moment, as the massive drain breeding partner loomed over her, Tyra thought it was all over. But then, the wall exploded in a storm of debris and fury, and through the chaos stepped a human. A lone, armored figure with a grim determination that would change everything. If stories of humans kicking alien butt and saving the day get your blood pumping, smash that like button right now, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another HFY epic from us. Let's dive into this tale of one man stand against a galactic horror show. Tyra's world had shattered 3 solar cycles ago. As a daughter of the Lion Astral Council, she'd been on a diplomatic mission, weaving alliances between stars like her people always did. The Lions were known for their genetic compatibility, a gift that made them natural bridges between species. But that gift had become a curse when pirates, hired guns for some shadowy consortium, ambushed her vessel. They dragged her kicking and screaming into this black market lab, hidden on a ring-shaped station orbiting a barren moon. The air here reeked of chemicals and despair, the walls humming with the low whine of machinery designed for one purpose: exploitation. She'd pleaded at first, offering ransoms that could buy worlds. But the Vexoid, with his gray, wrinkled skin folding like old leather, had dismissed her like she was nothing. Specimens don't negotiate, he'd said flatly, his voice as cold as the void. Tyra's stomach twisted as the drain entered, his 8-foot frame rippling with scaled muscle, eyes gleaming with reptilian hunger. This wasn't diplomacy. This was violation on a genetic level. Her mind raced with memories of her life. Dancing in zero-grab balls, negotiating peace treaties, laughing with friends from a dozen worlds. Now reduced to livestock. Tears burned her eyes as a mechanical arm descended, needle glinting. No, not like this. Then came the boom. The far wall crumpled inward, alarms screeching like wounded beasts. Dust choked the air, and red emergency lights pulsed like a frantic heartbeat. Through the breach stepped Eric Donovan, a human mercenary in battered gray combat armor, his tactical goggles hiding eyes that had seen too many battles. Stubble shadowed his jaw, and his mouth was set in a line of unyielding resolve. In his hands, a modified pulse rifle hummed with lethal promise. Not some fancy alien tech, but human-engineered grit. The Vexoid spun toward the alarm panel, but Eric didn't hesitate. Thunder cracked as he fired, dropping the scientist in a heap of twitching limbs. The drain roared, charging like a freight train. Eric sidestepped with fluid grace, dropping his rifle and drawing a combat knife in one seamless motion. The fight was a blur, scales flashing, blood spraying green across the floor. The massive alien clutched his throat and collapsed, gurgling. Silence fell, broken only by the alarms. Eric turned to Tyra, holstering his blade, hands raised in a gesture of peace. "Easy there," he said, his voice surprisingly soft, cutting through her fear like a warm light. "I'm here to get you out. You're going to be okay." Their eyes locked, hers wide with terror and fragile hope, his steady as ancient stone. He worked the restraints with quick, sure hands, freeing her wrists where purple blood trickled from the cuffs. Who are you?" she stammered, rubbing her arms. "Eric Donovan, independent contractor. Human, last I checked." A faint smile tugged at his lips as he released her ankles. "Was hired to snag some stolen data. Finding you? That was a bonus I couldn't ignore." Tyra slid off the chair, legs wobbling, but holding. "Why help a lion? Humans don't usually get involved in this." Eric glanced at the dead Vexoid, his face hardening. Some things you don't walk away from. Not if you're human. He scooped up his rifle. "Can you walk? We got about 2 minutes before this place swarms." Hope flickered in her chest. Fragile but real. "Yes, lead the way." The corridors pulsed with red light, alarms wailing like banshees. Eric moved like a shadow, checking corners with practiced efficiency. Tyra stayed close, her heart racing. What is this hellhole? She whispered. Consortium-funded black site, bioweapon gene tweaking, and yeah, breeding programs. His voice was low, laced with disgust. They hit an intersection. Heavy footsteps echoing from the left. Eric held up a fist. Security. 3 or 4. Tyra's pulse thundered. What now? Without a word, he pulled a metallic sphere from his belt and lobbed it down the hall. Flash and thunder erupted, blinding and deafening the guards. Run. He grabbed her hand, pulling her right. Shouts faded behind them as they dashed through the maze. Twice, they ducked into side rooms. Once, Tyra glimpsed more restraint chairs, empty but ominous. They're doing this to others, she hissed. Eric's eyes narrowed. Focus. We helped them by getting out alive. Chaos built. Automated voices droned about breaches. They rounded a corner into 2 hulking Taurian guards, ridged arms swinging. Eric ducked the first blow, knife flashing into armor gaps. The guard bellowed. The second aimed, but Tyra grabbed a metal tray and hurled it like a discus, smashing his face. His shot went wild. Eric finished the first, then dropped the second with 2 precise shots. Nice arm, he panted. Galactic Academy disc sport, she replied, shocked at her own boldness. Remind me to play you sometime. His grin was quick, gone in a flash. Hangar Bay, 2 levels down. They descended stairs, legs burning. At the door, Eric peeked. My ship's in Bay 3. 100 meters, open ground. Run like hell for the red-striped one. Tyra nodded, steeling herself. He tossed 2 discs. Concussive blasts rocked the hangar. Smoke billowed. Now! They sprinted, guard staggering. Bolts sizzled past. One grazed Tyra's shoulder, hot pain lancing through her. She cried out, but kept going, collapsing onto the ship's deck as Eric backed in, firing. The ramp closed. Cockpit. Second seat. Tyra staggered forward, dropping into the co-pilot chair amid blinking controls. Eric slid in, hands blurring over panels. The ship hummed alive. Hang on, this'll be rough. They blasted out, the station receding. Fighters launched, 5 of them. Can we outrun? Tyra gripped her seat. Eric's grim smile returned. Better. He flipped switches. Red button. Push and hold for 3 when I say. Shield shuddered under hits. Now! Flashes erupted behind. Mines disabled the pursuers. They jumped to hyperspace, stars streaking. Tyra breathed deep, free at last. Thank you, Eric. He nodded. Not clear yet. Glancing at her wound. First aid under your seat. As she bandaged, curiosity burned. Why really help? You could have left. Silence stretched. Some lines you don't cross. Not if you want to stay human. But hours later, in hyperspace, trouble brewed. Sensors blinked. A pursuer gaining. Impossible, Tyra said. Eric frowned. Consortium tech. New stuff. He rerouted to Helios Minor, a scarred mining colony. Contacts there. Safer. But the hunter adjusted. Eric dropped the sublight, weaving into a debris field. Twisted wrecks from old wars. Strap in, creating a hyperspace echo. Inside a massive derelict hull, they powered down, hearts pounding in the dark. The Consortium ship scanned, then chased the ghost signal. They slipped away, jumping to Helios. Impressive flying, Tyra said. Earth Defense Force, 8 years. His voice held shadows. Leftover politics. Now I choose my fights. At Helios, they landed in Nova Haven's gritty sprawl. Eric cloaked her. Harlow's my contact. XEDF runs security. In Harlow's bar, the scarred veteran whistled at Tyra. Lion diplomat. You complicate everything, Donovan. Eric briefed him. Rescue, data on bioweapons and hybrids, lions bred for war. Bounties were already out. Data revealed dozens of facilities, hundreds captive, even Lion Council ties. Tyra reeled. My own people. Harlow suggested broadcasting wide. Expose them. I got a comms expert, But agents stormed in. They fled through tunnels to a safe house. There, exhaustion hit. Eric's truth emerged. Past op capturing subjects. Court-martial for trying to stop it. Couldn't save them. But you, no choice. Tyra cupped his face. You're good, Eric. Their kiss ignited, gentle then fierce. Differences melted in shared need. Blue skin against human warmth, a defiant union. Afterward, entwined. Come to Lyria. He smiled. Let's survive tomorrow. Dawn brought Harlow's warning. Consortium mobilizing. They met Rhea at the comms tower, climbing to the broadcast suite. Data flowed out, unblockable. Alarms blared, agents ascending. Eric and Tyra held the door, blasters cracking. 25% transmitted. Reed called. Bolts scorch walls. Tyra dropped one agent. 40%. Heavy cannon wind. 60%. Disruptor charge below. Neuro fryer. Eric jury-rigged capacitors. Reversing the surge. Explosion rocked everything. Agents fled. Transmission complete. To the roof, Reed stayed to fight. Shuttle lifted amid chaos, evading blockades with Eric's mad piloting. They jumped. Safe. Stick around, he asked. Tyra's radiant smile. Diplomatic Corps needs your persuasion. Their kiss sealed it. In the end, one human's defiance exposed the Consortium, sparking galaxy-wide outrage. Facilities fell, corrupt officials fled. Humans earned new respect, not for tech or might, but sheer, stubborn will to do right. Sometimes, all it takes is one human crossing paths with the stars to remind the universe. We're not to be underestimated. We adapt, we fight, we win. If this HFY rescue fired you up, smash that like button and drop a comment. How would you take down a galactic conspiracy? Subscribe for more tales of humanity owning the cosmos. Next one's dropping soon.